Om. 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 Sahana bhavatu, Sahanao bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karvavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay. Punardarshanaya, Punarharshanaya, Punarmatradevya, Kripavarshanaaya. Shraddham pratarhavamahe, Shraddham madhya dinam pari, Shraddham surasya nimruchi, Shraddhe Shraddha Payehanaha. So that is, unless there is Shraddha, so as they say, khana pachna chahiye, no? It should be digested. So unless there is Shraddha, anything spiritual pachta nahi. It can remain only up to the intellect, but it does not go within you and become your blood and bones. And this is what I was listening to. And it's something that I was discussing because I did have a kind of a short experience in which whatever is said, that everything is pure consciousness, or how the avatars take place, Ansh avatars and all that. I had an experience of that, but I believe, and that question was asked of Murari Bapu, because I did go to his katha, and I'm also been listening partly to some of his kathas that he said, yes. And he said that the Shraddha, that these experiences are actually, and I'm actually mixing up from what I've heard from different masters. So it's not all from Bapu, it's all from different masters also that I have heard, that this kind of experiences are not permanent. At this moment, knowledge has become an experience. What the knowledge that we have has become an experience. But until the river meets up with the ocean and becomes one with the ocean, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham, until that happens, sthai nahi rehti. It comes and it goes. It's only when you dissolve. And then there is no one to say Shivoham Shivoham, because you are not there. You have actually become part of the ocean. But some of the kathakars, and I know Bapu says this also, that I want to continue doing Hari Katha. It gives me tremendous, and that is what he also called Ati Anand and Paramanand. Ati Anand is a lot of bliss, a lot of joy. But Paramanand is the ultimate. So that is something to consider. So when you have an experience, it's not necessarily that it will remain. And in my mind, what Meera sings, that she keeps singing that aate ho aur jate ho, yogi mat ja jogi. In my mind, it is that don't go away from my experience, stay with me. That is what I think she's actually saying. So that is one point that I heard. And another thing that I heard, that freedom is taking responsibility for your own life on your shoulders. You see, when we blame others, actually you're not free. You're holding them because they will say, I didn't mean it like this. You have to take responsibility for your own life. And that is when you take a decision. Now, Krishna says, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. And he says, I will take away all your pap. Aham, something, he says that, मैं तुम्हारे सब पाप ले लूंगा. But then you have to surrender to life, surrender to the universe, surrender to Krishna. And then I heard that life is a mystery. It has to be lived, not solved. God is not an object of knowledge. God is not an object at all. God is silence. Now, this is something to be actually chewed upon. Life is a mystery. You can't solve it. It has to be lived. Because every time there are different things happening in our life. So you have to live it and you have to learn. Maybe we make mistakes, but as we make mistakes, we learn and therefore we live it and we continue to live it. Yeah. So, and God is not an object of knowledge. You have to go beyond knowledge. And this is what I was saying. Given these experiences that we have, yes, it's an experience, but it is based on the knowledge that we have. And that's not the ultimate. And I was speaking with Amla also, and I told her, but Amla, you've had experiences. And she said, yes, I've had experiences, but now I want to dissolve. I want to be part of the whole. I want to be part of the universe. And then he said,
Shakun,
Haji.
Sometimes the experience, she's right, Amla is right.
Correct.
Because sometimes the experience also, binds you and gives you a little bit of ego also.
Yeah, of course it does, no? Because you feel you have achieved something. Yeah. But more importantly is until that ego dissolves completely and until the mind dissolves completely and you stop believing that you are the body, these three things have got to be happening. You can't believe you're the body. You can't believe you're the mind because up to a point you live in the body. Then you live in the mind, emotions. Usne aisa kiya, usne mere saath aisa kyun. So then you're living in your emotions. So so body, mind, intellect, you've got to go beyond all three. So,
beyond that, yes.
Yeah. So the experience that you have, yes, is sometimes based on your knowledge that you have because you kind of cross a certain dimension, but it doesn't remain permanent. Okay, so that is another thing. Now, another thing I want to share with you is that misery has many things to give to you. A lot of us find it easier. Why I'm also recording this, that when I send to you, maybe you can think about it because these are some of the gems that I extract from the talks that I listen to. And I know that you all will understand this kind of points that I'm saying. Now, most of us are miserable. They say, why is it more easy to be miserable than to be happy? When happiness is your actually natural state of being. So misery has many things to give to you. Now, what does misery give you? Happiness takes many things from you. Now listen, misery gives you things and happiness takes away things. Now listen, happiness takes away all that you had, all that you have been. Misery nourishes your ego. Because happiness is a state of egolessness. So it takes away, even if people kind of criticize you or something, you have nothing to say. You say, okay, fine, So misery nourishes your ego. And the above is the crux of the problem. That's why people have decided to live in misery. Miserable you are. In misery, crystallization. In misery is crystallization. But in happiness, you become diffused. Misery makes you special. Because why it makes you special? Because you get attention. And therefore, when you say, I'm not unhappy, everybody asks, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Let me help you. Let me this, let me that. Now, why we had not got attention in COVID is because the whole world is going through it. The whole world is miserable. That is the problem. And then he says, animals, birds are happy. Existence is happy except man. I mean, everybody is happy. He said, who wants to hurt a miserable person? And then he spoke the last point that I will make to you because you can hear this again and you can chew upon it, is that there is, you know that we have the 3 dimensions. The 3 dimensions is that of length, breadth, you know, I mean, whatever we have in our world. But the 4th dimension is of space. And the 5th dimension is a transcendental. When you are happy, blissful, then you start moving into the 5th dimension. So think about it, okay? And I will stop the recording here and we will do the Srimad-Bhagavatam, okay? So I'm going to stop the recording here.